Good morning and welcome to the David and David on Real Estate podcast. We are on episode number 101. And isn't that a coincidence? Because we have David Greenspan in the house with Mindshare101. David, welcome back to the show.
It is an honor, and hey, it's nice to know that we did one together, and well, we got invited back, so that's a good thing. No, seriously, guys, it's great to be back with you. Thank you.
Great to have you back as well. And today we're going to jump right into it. We're going to be talking about the year coming to an end. We're obviously in the fourth quarter of the year 2023. And a lot of realtors have been struggling in the current market. You know, the market is unpredictable. We've had a lot of interest rate hikes. Inflation is still a little high. Not sure what's going to happen in the upcoming interest rate announcement. But what should realtors be doing to really close out the year strong and really impact their bottom line?
Great question, and you're absolutely right. There are some changes coming, and whether rates do make another move or not, the one thing that we know is rates are higher today than they were yesterday. And the hypothetical yesterday, but I think everybody understands where I'm going with that. The reality is it's a tougher market out there right now. And we're seeing where sellers still have expectations of having prices that are going to be subjectively higher than they should be. Buyers are saying, well, it's a lot harder for me to get money, so you should just sell it to me for less. And there's something missing there, right? Is that buyers cannot expect to just get it for less because money is more expensive. Much the same we know just through simple economics that that's kind of what happens, right? When there's not as much activity, we can't raise prices. We have to almost lower prices to be able to sell more. This is something that I do want to hit home with the industry right now. And I want to just forewarn everybody that, especially when you've got a listing, you are dictating this market. So if you continue to drop that price because you just need to sell your listing, again, you are dictating the market. You are part of the person or people or industry that is driving prices down. At some point, yes, things have to come down. What goes up must come down. Much the same I'm going to say to everybody, what goes down must go up. And I see a ton of opportunity coming in this real estate market for those that are not probably going to be into, issues of renewal coming up and all of a sudden renewing at a much higher rate. And all of a sudden their monthly payments going up by thousands of dollars. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are very, very much in the doghouse with that, they're going to be in shit. They're going to need to get out of that house, get out of that mortgage. And there's going to be opportunities in the market for those that made some good financial decisions way back when, or maybe didn't buy for $1 million over asking because, everybody else was doing it. I think there's going to be opportunity for those people as well to be able to look at the market and say, hey, you know what? There's something I want to purchase, whether it's a cottage, whether it's another home, whether it's an investment property, maybe it's upgrading. There's going to be opportunity there. So for everybody right now, again, as you listen to this, I want to ask a question, say, do you think everybody out there knows something that you don't know? And I want you to think about that, because if you answer that and look in the mirror and think to yourself, well, yeah, I want to give you a breath of fresh air right now to say that if you're paying attention to the market and you're watching, your MLS every morning, you're checking out what's going on with the properties, then nobody knows something you don't know. If you think to yourself, no, I know what there is to know, good, as long as you're doing your homework. So the first thing is just educate yourself and keep yourself abreast of what is happening out there. Because the one thing I will say too, if you've got a listing right now, there hasn't been any movement on it. The question I ask is, when was the last time you did a comp on that? If it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, that's old news. It's time to revisit that. But it's also not time to convince your seller to make that change, because it's not necessarily in their best interest. So understanding what somebody's motivation is, understanding what timelines look like, that's when we can advise our client in the best way possible. So that's one thing right now. Educate yourself on what's going on with the market, understand what's truly going on, and don't do this for you, do it for them. Again, you do it for them, you will win more.
I think you're educating yourself, because ultimately you have to educate your clients and your potential clients. Right. Like, we talk about what kind of market is this all the time. Those of us that are real estate, oh, it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market. I look at the current market the best way I can describe it, you let me know if you agree, is it's an adjustment market. Because the reason I say that, because everybody has to adjust what they can afford to buy. Rates are not going back to 2%. Like, that was the aberration. Rates are going to be somewhere in the ballpark where they are now. They might go a little higher, a little lower. Not if anybody's waiting for 2%, forget it. It's never happening. Don't expect it. So now everybody's got to adjust. They want to live somewhere. They don't like where they're living and they want to move somewhere. What can you afford to buy? I'd like that property that was $1 million, but if my mortgage is going to be 8%, I can't afford that property. I got to look at a $900,000 property, or maybe that property that was $1 million is actually come back to 900. Maybe I'm still in the game. But there's all these adjustments that everybody has to do in order to get back into the market. And I think it's the realtor's job. And, we get asked questions as lawyers too, like, how do I buy? Or how do I sell? And it's doing all these calculations. So you got to educate yourself first as to what's going on in the market to be able to then educate your client to make the proper adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
David,
ahead.
I like what you said about, the realtor really is setting the pace and controlling the market. And I completely agree with you, right? And the one statistic that realtors really need to focus on is historical days on the market, right? I think we've been spoiled to a certain degree during COVID, where we saw the days on the market go to like unreasonable levels.
30, 60, 90 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
30, 60, 90 days.
No, guys, that is insanity, and it's not sustainable. We have to set a new standard of what, a typical day on the market sales cycle looks like. And I see a lot of realtors panicking quickly. Oh my God, it's day number half, and I don't have any showings, and I only have 4 showings on a $2 million property tomorrow, and oh my God, there's only 3 showings on the weekend. And I look at this realtor and I say, so you listed it on Thursday, and by the end of the weekend you have 7 showings on a $2 million property, and you're complaining? Like, I think we were so spoiled.
Yeah.
Especially looking at the day on the market statistic. You have to properly expose the property on the market to the right client base to determine proper market values. And if you're focusing on selling that property too prematurely or too quickly, you're going to take money off the table. And as a professional, you're doing a disservice. You're breaching your fiduciary duties, in the words of David Corman, to your seller.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give that property a little bit of time. What happens if there's a buyer in Muskoka and they took a family vacation, their first family vacation in a year? They rented, a suite at the JW, and the family's out there, and this property comes on the market. And they didn't get an opportunity to see this property. And right away, before they even saw the property, you're dropping the price. Right? So the idea that realtors are controlling the market is 100% spot on. Educating yourself is really important. Understanding numbers and statistics is really important. And going, to this new norm that it's going to take a little bit of time, and that's okay. And setting those right expectations with the sellers and with the realtor themselves is really important to navigate this market.
I was just going to say that. Expectations. Part of your listing package, once you start getting into actually signing the listing, there should be an expectation sheet.
Yeah.
What do I expect from you? What can you expect from me? And what should we expect from this journey right now? Because here's what's going on. Then have them sign it. So a week or 2 weeks later, they go, what's going on? It's not moving. And you go, remember you said you wanted to do it for 2 million and like you wouldn't go any lower, but I told you like 1.5. You're like way overpriced. Yeah. Told you so. Remember this document right here? So it's just a little tip for everybody. However, that said, and as I said about the education, and we agree with this, which is, I think it makes sense. Who are we educating? So this comes to the second point now. What do we do in this market right now? 1, educate yourself so you can educate your clients. 2, contact your clients. Oh, but everybody tells me they don't want to sell. That's okay. Who the hell wants to sell, or who wants to buy in this market right now? Not a lot of people, unless they need to. Well, what do I do? Well, how about you call people? Talk to them. 1, build a relationship. Understand who they are. Talk about the Blue Jays. Talk about the... Maintain the relationship. 2, find out if they got any questions. The same advice we gave you back when it was COVID, call your clients. And I remember being on a podcast, on a big webinar, and there must have been 100 people there, and I stepped up, or maybe more, and I was like, call your clients. And this one guy lambasted me. How dare you tell us to call our clients right now? How could you suggest that? And as he finished ranting, I let him go. And then I said, I didn't tell you to call and sell. I didn't tell you to call and find out if they want to move. Call and check in to see how they're doing. See if they need any help. And all of a sudden he just simmered down. Well, now take that to this moment right now. Maybe it's not called to see if they need any help, but maybe it's called especially if you've got a relationship. Find out about their financial situation. How you doing? You all right? Rates went up. Have you looked at it yet? Actually, I haven't. Might be a good time to do so. Or actually, I have. I'm kind of scared. I got somebody for you. There's one conversation you can have. The second one is the relationship thing. My point here is, for anybody right now, and I come back to, do you believe that you don't know something that everybody else knows? Because if your answer is no, then get on the line today. Call those 3 to 5 people, check in and say hi. Get on social media and connect and act with purpose. Don't stalk people. Act with purpose. Connect with people. Build that one new relationship today. Put them in the database. Focus on working on your business. Connecting with people. Strengthening the relationships. Because again, what goes down must go up. And when that up begins, people are going to think about you because you built enough mind share that you will get the market share. So that's the second thing people should be doing. The third one, and again, I won't get into full detail about this because we kind of talked about it on the last episode, but focus on your goals. Again, what do you want in life? Because that is a big part of how your day should be structured, so that no matter what's going on financially, it's not the only thing that you look at as what success looks like for you. But if I know that I went to the gym today, then I worked out physically. If I know that I read my book today or listened to a podcast like the David and David podcast, I know that I fed my brain. I did my personal development. If I know I spent time with my family, I'm doing good. Yeah, but David doesn't pay the bills. No, but if you ain't healthy, you ain't paying bills. 3 things. Educate yourself, focus on your contact list, pay attention to your goals.
We're going to, I want to explore that a little more with you, the goal setting. I think we're going to leave that for our next episode. But this is a great message for everybody because it's a difficult market. People have had a difficult year in the industry, and now's the time to find a way to finish your year going strong and set yourself up for next year. And we all know in residential real estate in particular, there's always this spring market coming that's going to be a little better than whatever we're going to go through in December and January and February. There will be a spring market. There's always that optimism down the road. So I think we should get into that a little bit more and talk about how you set the goals and what you should be looking to do in our next one.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Well, David Greenspan, thank you so much for coming on. If people want to reach out to you, how do they find you?
Yeah, thank you for that. Again, I want to encourage everybody to go check us out at Mindshare101.com. You can learn more about all the services between the speaking, the training, the coaching. There's a lot there for you, a lot of different resources. I also want to encourage you to follow us on Instagram at David Greenspan 101. And of course, please reach out with any questions, feedback, comments, anything you've got. Throw them at us. We're here for you. And gentlemen, once again, a big thank you for having me on the episode today.